Do 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 do. Boom boom. Ba da da dum. Boom boom boom. Ba da da dum bum 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 bum. Boom, 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 boom. Super Mario World. So, I'm just gonna get situated here, and we're gonna talk in a minute. This is Super Mario World. Love this game. You're not seeing Super Mario World here. This is Super Mario World. Okay, let's start a new game. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. We're gonna do this. So this is I called this live. I called it the law of assumption. Why? Why'd I call it that? Nobody knows. How do I erase file? Yes. Hold on a second. Okay. So, welcome. No one's here. Welcome to my live stream for this evening. We're talking about the law of assumption, and we're playing Super Mario World. The thing is, I don't really know anything about the law of assumption, but I kind of do. I get the idea. The idea is that you want to assume that which you want to be true, okay? You want to just assume. You know, you're such a smart person. Why do you have to be so smart? You don't have to be so smart. Just be a little stupid. Just kind of assume whatever you want to be true. You don't have to prove it. You don't need evidence that it's true. Just assume it. See, you're a really smart person. And you don't realize how smart you are. You don't realize that you're sitting around saying, oh, things can be... The things that I believe are true are the things based on scant evidence. You just decided what evidence is acceptable to you, but you're not doing that consciously. That's based on your unconscious programming. That's based on your childhood, on your traumas, and all the mean things that everybody did to you when you were a kid. You don't remember that. So that's the law of assumption, okay? Just snap out of that. Just assume whatever you want to be true, okay? That's how you get what you want. Just assume you already have it. How does this apply to video games? Well, let's start. It applies to piano. This is how you play piano. It's how I play piano. You don't play piano that way. But I play piano that way. There's this guy, Ben Feingold. He plays chess. He's a grandmaster. I'm wasting all the best parts of this talk when there's not a single person here. So I'm just gonna hold off a little bit before I keep going. I'm gonna wait until there's a little bit of an audience here. Unless there's somebody here, then I'm sorry that I'm not noticing you. But it shows me 0. And I don't know. I never know if I should trust those things. So if you're here, leave a comment, then I'll know you're here. But we're gonna play Super Mario World, and I'm gonna talk about the law of assumption. When did I start this? How long has this been going for? 5 minutes. Okay, so we're gonna talk about it. I already gave an overview of the law of assumption and what it is, and this is Super Mario World. Super Mario World is this fantastic game. I didn't know it was a fantastic game until, you know, until just last week. I've been playing this game for a long time, you know, now and then. I always thought it was a lesser version of Mario 3. But I have a little bit of a different take on it now, because I actually think this is a very polished game. You may even say it's a more polished version of Mario 3. But we're gonna play it. And we're just gonna go through the first level, at least. I'm gonna sit and wait for this thing's here. Now the thing is that when you're assuming, you want to assume things, okay? You don't want to be so intelligent all the time. Intelligence is way overrated. You know, sometimes intelligence is a good thing. Sometimes it can help you solve problems, can help you get what you want. But sometimes, actually, the thing to do is to be a little stupid about it. So let's just assume that there's going to be power-ups in these blocks. Let's just assume. That's Yoshi, by the way. We'll just assume. You know, we're not going to sit there and try to... I'm reading off of an outline that ChatGPT generated for this talk. And it's telling me that I should discuss how assuming... I'm looking at the outline. How assuming... See, the thing is, that's not the right thing that's not the right thing right now, to assume that. We're not going to assume anything about power-ups, because that's stupid. We're going to assume that where I land, that wherever I jump, is going to be a safe place to jump, is a safe place to land, okay? So that way, we're not going to have to worry about anything. We're not going to be sitting here micromanaging anything. We're not going to be putting all this effort into trying to make sure that I land in a safe place, because that's a waste of effort, okay? What we're going to do is just assume. I want to land safely, so when I jump, I'm just going to assume that I land safely, okay? Don't have to think that hard about it. Just assume it. I will land safely, no matter what. See? Now you may say, Michael, you didn't land safely. What are you talking about? I don't know. I'm already on to the next thing. I'm just assuming I'm landing safely. And I am, every time. See, you want to assume success. Assume you're going to get what you want. Assume that you've already achieved your goals. Okay? That was the first level. That's actually the second level. The first level is this one over here. We're going to start with this is the first level. So now I'm going to assume that I'm already completed the first level. Okay? This is we are in a universe right now where the first level is completed successfully. On the first try, even. So we'll just play it out, whatever. We already know it's done. We already know we have this success. We don't have to obsess over it. We don't have to think too hard about it. We just keep going. I never knew that this game was good until last week when I decided I was going to play it. You know, I was just going to go through it once and for all, because I never really played it much, just like a little bit here and there. I always thought it was just kind of a stupid game. It just always seemed like a version of Mario 3 that was just harder to control. It's not harder to control than Mario 3. Once you get used to it, once you really start to understand what you're dealing with, you realize that you start to appreciate it a little bit more. Because they actually put a lot of work into this. It's not a stupid game. So you've already achieved your goals. You already live you're on a timeline where the future has those goals already achieved. Okay? So just accept it. You don't have to think that hard about it. You don't have to... Just be an idiot. Just do it. You just do it's only about the truth is already right here. Okay? That's it. See, you realize, like, you were taught in school that you have to be a smart person. And they filled your head with all this nonsense. Oop, what did I just do? But you realize that there's all the other animals on this planet, they don't do that. They don't have any intelligence. Like, they're not saying, like, well, I'm smart. I have to get the right answers. Like, they're just doing their thing. Which is what you should be doing too. Don't be smart. Don't have any intelligence. It's like, it's way overrated. Can you imagine if I would actually had to be intelligent when I'm playing this game? I never get anything done. The way to play a game like this is you just have to push the buttons and just go through the game. Just one little thing at a time, one button at a time. And you just do it. There it is. See, I don't even know what's happening. The assumption is that I'm an expert at this. The assumption is that all of these movements that are happening are 100% right. They're the exact ones that need to be happening to get whatever outcome I want to get. Just like I want to get through this level without getting killed, okay? And you just assume that they're the right ones. You can't be second guessing any of that stuff. But you were taught in school that you have to second guess it. See, pay attention to that stuff. Think back what it was like when you were a kid. And if you made a mistake, what happened? You had to be a little embarrassed about it, right? What happens if you weren't embarrassed? Maybe people would think you were stupid. Maybe people would think that you weren't paying attention. You didn't even notice you made a mistake. How careless can you possibly be? What kind of space case are you? Not only did you make a mistake, you didn't even notice it. Meanwhile, all the time you're spending trying to notice your mistakes so that you don't look bad in front of the other people, you're making more mistakes because now you're totally in. Now you're a real space case. See, people who are good at things, people who can like play these games like really well. Not me, of course. They don't do that. When they make mistakes, they don't play in front of other people until they're really good. They spend a lot of time, because when you're in front of other people, you can't get good at things. You have to be in a room by yourself to get good at anything, because you got to deal with all that. So you can thank your friends, thank your teachers for screwing everything up for you. And if you are a teacher, then I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how you sleep at night. Ba-da-da-da. Okay, so here we are, Iggy's Castle. So now we're coming on to more difficult levels here. We're coming to some real challenges. We got some real obstacles now. So this is just like real life, you know? Real life, you got real obstacles. And what do you do? Do you shrivel up and die every time there's an obstacle? No. What you do is you just assume that you're gonna succeed. Just do it. Just succeed. Hold on 1 second. You can, so failure's not an option. It's not even worth trying if you're gonna fail. You should never try at anything that you aren't gonna succeed at. You should never try anything that you're not gonna be the best in the world at. 100% best, like the top, #1. Why bother? There's no point in bothering. When you're not the best, then you're just one of many. You gotta think outside the box a little bit here. It's 2024. The old ways of thinking aren't gonna work anymore. I know they're comforting, but they're not gonna work. This guy's so annoying. So you gotta just kind of wait for him. Okay. And we just do it. And you just do it. And it's like there's no possibility of failure. It's just like you don't even have to worry about failure. It's like, I cannot possibly fail. I cannot possibly die. There's no way. You know? I made an outline in ChatGPT. I had ChatGPT generate an outline for me with timestamps. So right now we are at the 20-minute mark. Oh, I didn't realize that could happen. Wow. So we are at the 20-minute mark. Okay. Well, that's interesting. So that means I actually have to... No, we're past that point. I have until... I have 5 more minutes where I can talk about this kind of thing. 5 more minutes about talking about difficult challenges, the assumption of success even when facing tough obstacles. So let's play a little bit. I'm gonna play a little bit of Mario. This is Super Mario World. It's one of the greatest games of all time. So I've always been a Mario 3 fan. And I have to say, this game is a little awkward. Coming from Mario 3. Because it's just like the controls are a little bit different. Huh. But I'm used to it at this point. I'm not used to talking while doing it. The thing is you want to see the bigger picture. You gotta think about, like, how our society taught you in school, in the media, in video games, on the playground. Ba-da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-dum-dum-dum. See, it's one thing when you're playing piano, when you're playing a video game, that's one thing. But think about it when you're dealing with real things, you know? When you're dealing with other people, when you're dealing with money. Then suddenly, this stuff becomes a little more important. Because at the end of the day, who cares about piano? Not me. Who cares about video games? Not me. It's easy to forget that. Not for you, it's not. But for me, it is. I asked ChatGPT to write a summary of my my Mario 3 video. I put the transcript in the into ChatGPT, which you can do. Just from YouTube. You just copy and paste the transcript of the video right into ChatGPT and just say, "What is this video about?" And you can even copy the timestamps in there and have it write timestamps. Like, they have to write the little things for each of the timestamps. You know, for each of the times. What's happening? And it literally will do all of that for you. Because somebody emailed me and said, "Michael, I saw your Mario 3 video, but I didn't really understand what you were talking about. You were talking something about mindfulness. I didn't get what you were saying. The point was lost on me." Which is, okay, that's interesting. The point was lost. Could the point be lost? But it was. So I'm going to read to you the point. Because here's what it said. The video is a nostalgic and humorous commentary on why the speaker, that's me, believes Super Mario Bros. 3 is the best of the original Mario games. It covers everything from game mechanics like Goombas and Flying Mario to personal anecdotes about the speaker's expertise in Mario 3. They compare their skills in Mario to playing the piano and meditating, and share their thoughts on yoga teachers' disdain for video games. The speaker also touches on the importance of being entertaining while streaming, likening it to improvisation in music. They conclude with a playthrough, sharing tips and frustrations, and finally defeating Bowser. This is an 11-minute video. I just put the transcript in there and that's what it said. Okay, but then I said to ChatGPT, I said, summarize the part about the relationship between Mario and piano and meditation and mindfulness and improvisation. Write it for someone who watched the video, is a Mario fan, but doesn't quite understand what I'm saying about these topics. And in response, it said, all right, so in the video you talk about your skills in Mario 3 compared to playing the piano and meditating. You say you're better at Mario 3 than those things. Then you dive into the idea that streaming Mario 3 is like improvisation in music. It's about keeping the commentary flowing, just like you would keep the music going without stopping to think too much. You have to stay in the moment, which ties into mindfulness and meditation, focusing on the present and verbalizing your thoughts as they come. The idea is that the constant talking while playing Mario helps maintain that flow and keeps it entertaining, similar to how musicians keep playing through any distractions. I think that's exactly right. That's the point. So ChatGPT understands what I'm talking about. But the viewers of my videos don't understand what I'm talking about. That's interesting. ChatGPT in 10 seconds or less. Less, I think. ChatGPT in 3 seconds could understand everything I was saying in that video. But you guys don't. What does that mean? Does it mean I speak better to computers than I do to humans? Maybe. I'll take the blame for it. So I could put this transcript in there, and we'll see what it says. And I'll do that. No, I don't want that. There's a secret exit, see? This game has a number of secret exits. And if you get all of them, then good things happen. Let's see, there's another switch. The green switch palace. But again, we are always going to assume, always, never anything else. We always assume that we have 100% success. Why would you assume anything less? You wouldn't. Not after watching this video. Okay, let's move on to the next topic in my gratitude and small wins. No, that's not where we are. We're on goal setting and assumption. So setting specific goals for the game, like defeating a particular boss or completing a challenging level. Explain how setting clear goals and assuming their achievement is crucial, both in games and in life. Discuss techniques for embodying the feeling of having already achieved your goals. Okay, so you don't have to think too hard about this. You don't have to go into so much detail. You just say, look, what we're going to do now is you got the ghost house. Oh no, we're not there yet. We got to fix this level. We have to finish this level. So we're going to get to the great thing about video games is that the goals are kind of predefined. We don't have to really be too creative with the goals. It's just like, get through the game. Get through this level. But that's what we're going to do. We don't have to... It's very important to actually really be clear about what the goal is. Because when you look at your behavior, you're going to see that you're doing all kinds of things that really are not... I mean, you're not doing it very consciously. A goal is something that you can actually pick consciously. You can choose what your goal is going to be. It doesn't mean that that's all you're doing. You're doing all kinds of things. Some people will say, well, it's putting all this effort, you know, you're doing multiple things at once. You're not doing multiple things at once. You're just doing, you're not, it's like you have this, like who's, oh, you can do that. That's what that's for, I think, even. There's no you, dude. Like, come on, snap out of it. So the way I think of it is that we work hard and we play hard. And this is our chance to play hard. While keeping up the appearances of doing work. We're not doing work. This isn't work. Yes, it is. See, on some games they have a boss key. The boss key is the key that you press, and when the boss comes around, that doesn't look like you're goofing off at work. So you press the key, and then a spreadsheet pops up or something like that. It looks like work. So we all know that we're just sitting here playing Mario. We're also learning about meditation. Not really learning about meditation, I'm just talking about stuff. You see? There's another... So this is the coolest thing about this game, okay? I'm going to show you this. This is another little thing here. Whoa. Watch this. Secret exit here. So this is a goal, okay? Where is Mario? Predefined goal. And I just did it. I just assumed it was going to be done and did it. But this is the cool thing here. The top secret area. It gives you all these power-ups. I already have my power-ups are maxed out, but like, look at that. You gotta celebrate small wins. You know? Like, that's what I just did there. I celebrated a small win. I got the secret area, and I celebrated it. I said, look, this is the coolest part of the game. You gotta celebrate those. Because that's what you're doing here. So you're trying to get... You know, you're trying to win. So you gotta celebrate small versions of that. You can't just... You can't always have the thing that... The destination cannot always be so far out of reach. The destination needs to be right here. You know, if you have the destination over there, you're never going to reach it. Like, why would you do that to yourself? Just put the destination right where you can reach it. Much easier. Even like small objectives, like getting a coin. You know how many coins there are in this game? Let's get some coins. We're gonna get 5 coins. Here's one. That's a coin. No. Let's get another one, shall we? We already know what's gonna happen. You don't have to think so hard about it. There's another one. So there we've got already. There's another one. That's 3 coins. That's another one. I think maybe I even got another one that I didn't notice. At least 4. Look at that. I already got 5 coins. So my goal has already been surpassed. Okay? It's complete victory. So you realize that your mind is what is... These victories are arbitrary. Whatever you consider to be the goal. You get to decide. It doesn't have to just be because your teacher said that. It doesn't have to be because that's what your friends said you had to do. Like, you get to decide what the goal is going to be. And you should decide. You have to decide. You're deciding either way. You understand that? It's not really up. It's not like you can't not decide. You're already deciding. So the question is like, are you going to actually be honest about what you're deciding? Or are you going to pretend, well, that's just what I'm doing? It's not just what you're doing. It's a decision you're making. You can try to foist it off on someone else, that responsibility, but you're the one doing it. You got to recognize and celebrate small wins to reinforce the assumption of continuous success. Okay? So every single jump, that's what we're doing. We're going through this game and we're jumping. It's constant, continuous success. There is nothing getting in the way of... Who's that guy, Andrew Tate? He talks like this sometimes. But it's right. It's not... There's nothing wrong with that. Like, you know, you just say, like... It's like, why bother doing anything if you're not doing it right? And define it that way. Like, don't bother with anything else. Like, you're really just making life hard when you do that. You're just kind of abusing your mind. Your mind should be used for good. It should be used to actually get you what you want. The purpose of your mind is not to tell the truth. Your mind is really not that good at truth. Believe it or not. So don't try to make it do that. It's good at keeping you out of trouble. It's good at, you know, getting food and stuff. Just use it for that. Coins. Stomping enemies. Like, you don't go beyond that. There's no other animal on this planet who does anything beyond that. It's only human beings who use it for truth. Truth should just be self-evident. You think you're being all scientific and skeptical, but you're not. Like, the greatest scientists, they're not looking for truth. They're just goofing off. Like, they're just having fun. They're just like making observations and just being like, huh. I hope that's not true. Let's assume it's true and see if we can disprove it. That's all they're doing. It's just a game. They're not looking for truth. You don't want to be one of those people who looks for truth. Those people do not have any fun at all. Okay. See, I kind of forgot about all this. You know? No, you don't know. Where are we on my outline here? We've been going 40 minutes. We're still going with this. Gratitude. Acknowledging small victories strengthens the belief in your assumptions. The thing with gratitude, see, if you're thinking that this is some sort of moral obligation that you have to be grateful, because otherwise you're just a spoiled brat, you're misunderstanding. The point of gratitude is to help you get more of what you want. Because when you appreciate what you have, then you notice what you have. And then maybe you might remember how you got it. If you don't notice what you have, you're never going to ask, oh, how did I get this thing? You see where I'm going with this? If you notice how you got it, guess what? You might be able to get more of it. If you don't notice how you got it, how are you going to replicate it? You want to replicate your successes. When something works, do it again. When a good thing works, do it again. If it's a bad thing, don't do it again. See? You see how my mind is working here? So that's the point of this gratitude thing. It's just about noticing what has worked. So you can get more. It's purely selfish. It should always be selfish. We need more selfishness. We're at 43 minutes. Bye-bye, Yoshi. That guy's name is Yoshi. Well, I always, like, I played through this whole game, over the past week. And my opinion of it totally changed. So I was just like, I hated it. I was like, I hate this game. But I no longer hate it. I've seen the error of my ways. See, I'm open to changing my mind when new evidence comes in. You are not, okay? I am. So see, there's a difference. You gotta be open to changing your mind in the face of new evidence. So there's like there's different exits. I know where the other exit in this one is. You gotta find those new exits. You know, there's 96 total exits in this game. And when you find all of them, you get a star. This level is hard to find the other exit. I can't remember where it is. But it's like every single button push. You know, you gotta just sort of assume that it's right. Okay, well, here we are. So real-time assumption. Challenge yourself to assume specific outcomes in the game live. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna find the other exit. Okay, that's gonna happen. The conclusion is foregone. We're gonna find the other one. So we're gonna I'm gonna explain my thought process, which is that I'm gonna move through this level and I'm gonna find the other exit. Okay, it's gonna be moved automatically. There will be no anything other than just the exit being found. Okay, the secret exit. And as you can see, without having done any work, here it is. Okay, this is the exit right here. Now, you want to say that that's a coincidence? Yeah, of course, coincidence. I mean, what do you want me to say? Did I waste time looking for the exit? No, did not waste any time. All I did was just go for it. I assumed I was going to find it. I moved the buttons, pressed the buttons, just made it happen, and it happened, okay? It's like you don't waste your time. Just go for it. If there's something you want, just go for it. Just do it. You don't have to, like... So, the results did align with my assumptions. Let's just note that. Let's just have gratitude for that. And we're going to do a little bit more of this. We're going to go through the standard exit right now. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to get to the standard exit. How am I going to get there? I have no clue. But the way it's going to work is that my hands are just going to do it. It's just like my hands pressing these buttons right now is going to get me to the exit. I don't have to get to the exit, okay? Because my hands know where the exit is. It's just automatic. I'm just going to trust them. Okay? Like, you're allowed to trust whatever you want to trust. You don't have, like, if you were a deer, if you were a bear, we wouldn't be having this conversation. You would just be trusting that things would go the way they need to go. You're not going to be sitting there being, like, suspicious, like, I wonder if that's the right button. Bears are not going to be thinking about whether it's the right button. They just do it. They just do it. They're not sitting there thinking about, is this the right button? Now you may think that they're doing that because maybe they have like a quizzical look on their face, but they're not doing anything more than what I'm doing right now, which is just going through the level. That's all they do. And they might, you know, they might stop and sniff around or something, like, I wonder. But they're not, it's not like what you learn to do in school. It's not that kind of analysis. It's just like, go through the level. Just go through the level. Looks like fun. There it is. And I don't even know how I got here. I couldn't retrace those steps. I couldn't, like, tell you what I did to get there. I just did it. I just trusted my hands to do it, and they did it. I don't remember any of it. Like, I don't know. I said something about bears. That's the only thing I remember. Because all I cared about was getting to the end of the level, finding that exit. I'm gonna do the same thing here. Again, just trusting my hands to do it. Whether you get into the end of the level in Mario, whether you get into the end of a piano piece, same thing. You just trust that it's gonna get done. You just assume that you know how to do it. It's all figured out already. You don't have to figure out anything. The less time you can spend trying to figure things out, and the more time you can spend just doing the thing, the better. It's not about it's not about anything other than just the idea is to save time. It's to stop doing things that don't work. It's not that this is necessarily going to get you to do what works, but it's going to get you to stop doing what doesn't work. And then, you know, you may find that what does work is going to be more obvious. Because you're not even like paying attention to like how much of what you're doing is actually getting in the way. Oh, I keep forgetting about that one. That's happened many times to me, you know that? It's sort of immaterial to me though. Like, I'm just sitting here observing. That's kind of interesting. You know, there's something that's happened before. But like, I'm not gonna make a thing out of it. Like, I don't know what it means. You know, you have this like, in dialectical behavior therapy, it's called a wise mind. You don't have to like think so hard about it. Your mind knows what to do. I call it the Buddha mind. It's the mind that's not, it's just taking in information and just reacting to it. Yeah, so these controls in this game, they're a little tricky. It's like, when you compare this to Mario 3 especially, it's very tricky. It took me a while. It was sort of an acquired taste. I played this game for years. I played it for... I don't even know when I first played it. I never played it on the Super Nintendo. I didn't play it until I was an adult. I don't know. Maybe in college. Maybe even later than that. And... maybe it was around there. I don't know. But I always thought it was like a lesser version of Mario 3. Because the controls are more complicated than Mario 3, and at first glance it doesn't really look like the game is all that much more interesting than Mario 3. So it's kind of like, well, what's the point? Why not just play Mario 3? But I've been playing it, and it has really grown on me. First of all, I've gotten used to the controls, and I have to say I like these controls better than Mario 3. I feel a little bit guilty saying that because I have a lot of loyalty towards Mario 3, because that's always been my Mario game. But the way I look at it is that Mario 3 was... like, this is basically the sequel to Mario 3. And everything that this game has, it owes to Mario 3. Mario 3 is the... that was what set the template for this. And, you know, they just made a new, you know, more polished version of it, newer version of it, more streamlined version. What have we got here? We got some comments. Sorry, I missed it. What's the law of assumption? Yeah, the law of assumption, is that what happened to Jesus's mom? No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that's about. That sounds like a Catholic thing or something. I don't really know. But this has nothing to do with that. This is totally separate. This is about manifesting the stuff you want. And what the law of assumption is basically is you just assume that you have it. You know, you assume you're gonna get it. Assume that you live on a timeline where that's the future, where that's the present. Rather than trying to make things happen, you just assume that they're happening. It's a technique. It's a trick. It's a way of doing magic. It's a way of playing the piano. So after I attained the first stage of enlightenment, this trick occurred to me. I didn't know it was called the law of assumption at the time, but I've recently learned that. I think it was yesterday I learned that that's what it's called. It's a thing. It's a whole thing. There's like a whole thing. There's a guy who wrote I haven't looked into it. But it's a thing. There's a whole community where they've got this stuff all worked. They have lingo for it. I'm like, maybe I should steal their lingo. It's like a new age thing. It has something to do with the law of attraction. I'm not sure what the overlap is. Someone's gonna have to explain this to me, because I don't know. I don't really care. Like, I just learned about it, I'm like, yeah, that's the thing I thought of. Same thing. That's how I play piano nowadays. Ever since 2016. I changed the way I play piano. And that's when I really started to learn to draw. That's when I learned calligraphy. I learned to write with my right hand. Normally I write with my left hand. Because I was like, I can just assume this stuff. I can just like, I don't have to actually try to do any of these things. I can just assume that they're done. And lo and behold, suddenly I was able to do them. So yeah. It's really not that profound. It's a little trick. It's a little trick that lets you kind of short circuit some things. Lets you bypass a couple of the things you learned in school. It sounds more profound than it is. So now I'm trying to take it to the next level. Because I realize, you know, it's all well and good to do with piano and video games and drawing and calligraphy and yoga and all that stuff, but like, try doing it with social relationships. Try doing it with money. It becomes a little harder. For me, anyway. Maybe it's easier for some people. I don't know. We all have our own neuroses. Some people suck at piano, you know? That's interesting to me. I mean... this game, I didn't know it was a good game. Like, honestly didn't. I had no idea. I just thought it was like... I already explained it, right? Thought it was like... Because it was hard, you know? It was like the controls. It's like a little different. It's like a little... I don't know what it is. Like, Mario's heavier in this game. In Mario 3, he's very light. He's like a little marshmallow. But in this game, he's heavy. He falls quickly. Oh, it's different. Definitely a little bit. It takes a little getting used to, but he can stop like real fast. You know, like he can just like when he's jumping, just change his direction really quickly. You can't do that in the other games to this degree. It gives you a little bit more precision, and it's something I've come to appreciate, even though it was like really disorienting at first. I don't know what the newer 2D games are. I don't think I've played anything newer than this. So we're gonna wrap this up a little bit because I've been going for an hour at this point. I'm just gonna summarize some of the key points that I discussed here. We talked about the law of assumption. I just already summarized what that is, but you know, it's about assuming what you want to be true, assuming the world that you want to live in. You just assume it. Don't sit there and try to make it happen. You assume that it's already there, and your job is basically just to live it out, just to be in that world. It's already there. Anything you want. You want $1 million? The trick is that you got to be honest about what you actually want. I think where people screw this up is that they're really not honest with themselves about what they want. They're not honest with themselves about, like, well, that's maybe what I should have planned out a little bit there is, because I was thinking like, well, if I said I wanted $1 million within the next 10 minutes, you know, we can have a conversation on whether I actually want $1 million within the next 10 minutes. Damn it. Not gonna happen. Because you can, it's all well and good to say that you want something, but you gotta say like, what, do you really want this thing? You're just saying it. You're just saying it. Because if you really want something, then you have to be willing to sit there and say, well, what do I think is getting in the way of that? What do I think is making that not happen? I don't know what's making it not happen. Okay, and yet you're saying you want it. You never thought about whether it's possible or not. Like, you never thought about it. No, you're just saying you want it. You're just saying you want to prove a point. That's not... Like, if you actually want something, you have to be willing to sit there and say, what would it take for this to happen? What am I afraid of? How am I suffering? What have I noticed? You have to be willing. You have to be a total idiot. You can't be going in with any preconceptions. Any preconceptions about what? You can sing anything you want. I was talking a lot like this back in 2016. I was saying a lot of stuff, like a lot of weird stuff. This was right around when my mom died. Some people maybe thought I was going a little crazy because of that. I don't know what to tell you. I think it was a coincidence. of sorts. I suppose maybe I was a little more willing to say crazy things. That could be. So, we're gonna finish this up here. Are there any questions, any other questions about the law of assumption, about Super Mario World, about anything? Just put them in the chat right now, and then, you know, I'll leave this open for just a couple more minutes, just in case there are any last questions to get to here. You know, thank you for joining me and for subjecting yourself to this form of challenging inquiry, because it's not something that I would say that is encouraged in our society. We're just kind of encouraged to kind of go with the flow, to not make any waves, not rock the boat, you know, just kind of keep your head down. Don't draw any attention. You know, as an adult, you're allowed to keep your head down. Okay, sometimes maybe you want to do that. As an adult, you're allowed to follow instructions. But as a kid, you shouldn't be doing that. Kids should be encouraged to be a little more creative and take more risks. So that's where I stand on that one. Because then they can learn. They can learn how to follow orders, you know? I got a comment here. That was interesting about how you were more willing to say crazy things after your mom died. Yeah, well, you know, when people die, then it's like, you know, what the heck? You know, you don't, it's like, it puts some things in perspective a little more, you know, kind of reminds you of what's important. You know, when no one's dying, then it's easy to start thinking that the stupid shit is important. That's one of the things I liked about COVID, too. Whoa. Is that, you know, you could say stuff, you know, because everybody was freaking out. So you could say things that were true. But now you can't do that because they're going to say, well, you're, you know, whatever. You gotta be very careful what you say nowadays. I mean, I would say just a few months into the pandemic, that was already coming back to the way, you know, to normal. At the beginning, I mean, it was a golden age. I love tragedies, disasters, I love that stuff. I love when bad things happen. It's just like, you know, people like me win when bad things happen. That's what I'm starting to understand. And probably people like you too. Okay. So yeah, oh, I should promote my next stream and any other content I have. I want to thank ChatGPT for providing the outline for today's lecture, for today's discourse. I wouldn't have been able to do it without ChatGPT. And my next stream, I don't know when it's going to be, but the other content I have. So what you want to do nowadays, okay, is you want to subscribe to my Substack. Now I'm calling it Substack, but it's my email list, which is currently on Substack, which is an experiment that I'm doing. I don't know if it's going to stay there, but I like Substack because it makes it really easy to publish stuff. I was using MailChimp before, much harder. I actually wrote a Python script to send things. No, it's a whole ordeal on MailChimp just to make it easy, just so that I could easily send things to my mailing list on MailChimp. I wrote a lot of code to make that happen. But with Substack, I don't have to do any of that. I just do what you would think MailChimp would do, which is you just open up a new document and type the email and then press send and it goes out to everybody. That's what it does on Substack. Go figure. But if you go to my whatever homepage, whatever, you can subscribe. So that's where I'm putting all of my best work nowadays, because this is a business, you know. And I live to serve you. So I hope you'll take part in this. It really isn't about me at all. It's 100% about you. But I'm the voice of you, the voice of reason, and that's where it's going to be. So you get it. You get the idea. Work hard and play hard. Assume whatever you want to be true. Thanks for joining me.